CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata joins us from our D.C. bureau with more on that story. Good morning, Charlie. So lawmakers had this classified briefing yesterday. Are the rest of us any closer to understanding how the administration is trying to justify what it did?
Errol, if I could put it in a nutshell, right, to put it in a teacup, the administration is treating the current war, if you want to call it that. They're saying that these are combatants. They're not criminals. And the United States is at war with these combatants. And the reason I say that is because the way that was framed yesterday, when Admiral Bradley pointed out the justification for coming around, the quote, double tap and hitting that boat the second time, which, by the way, we haven't seen video of. It hasn't been released to the public. It's been described yesterday by saying, look, what I saw in that room was one of the most troubling things I've seen in my time in public service. That came from Himes. And then, but Cotton, and this is the really important part, he says, I saw two survivors trying to flip a boat back with drugs bound for the United States and stay in the fight. The stay in the fight is critical here because Admiral Bradley, who's, you know, a former Navy SEAL, he's in charge of special ops. That's when the decision is made. And the decision is, by military terms, do those individuals remain a threat to Americans? An immediate threat, an imminent threat, a threat at all. And the argument was they were trying to collect the drugs that were on board. They were trying to flip the boat over. They were calling into other nearby crafts for assistance. Now, in a military scenario, it might be justified that they could, quote, fire back on you. They could be a threat to forces there. Others argue they were incapacitated. And the DOD is very clear. The law of war manual states shipwrecked combatants are in a helpless state, and it would be dishonorable and inhumane to make them the object of an attack. So that is clearly against DOD policy and Navy policy and International Geneva Convention rules. If they are no longer a threat, you don't fire on shipwrecked survivors. So for the administration to come out and say, well, they still remained a threat to America by virtue of the fact that they had drugs on board and they were calling assistance, that's how they're framing it. What we don't know, by the way, it was dismissed, the idea kill everybody. That was dismissed, and both sides of the aisle agree that that wasn't the case. We don't actually know what the written policy is. What are the rules of engagement? That's not something that's shared with us. That is classified information. So we don't know the directives of this Operation Southern Spear. We also aren't seeing the video of that, the extended video of the second strike. So a lot of this is being kept in the dark. And this isn't that unusual. Special operations are opaque by their very nature. Right. You know, Navy SEAL operations, Special Forces operations. But with another strike announced overnight, you know, the numbers of people that are getting killed and the numbers of these strikes continue to go up, and there's not a whole lot of evidence for us to review.
Well, great to get that specific clarification from you, Charlie, on what official policy is. Our Charlie D'Agata there live in our D.C. bureau. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Errol.